Hang on. There we go. Yes, sir. Okay, we good now? All right. I love it when I go live, I see a freaking Morosi tweet. Gets me all excited, and then it's not even relating to the Guardians. Freaking Angels, Red Sox, and Blue Jays are among the teams interested on Kodai Senga. Not Guardians related, so I don't care. So, anyways, what's going on, everybody? Crazy Dog back with another Browns Victory Monday live stream. Well, I love Victory Mondays, you know? We've only had 3 of them things all year long. We have 5 wins, 3 Victory Mondays. We've had a Victory Friday and a Victory Tuesday. Although I didn't stream the Victory Tuesday because, yeah, you know the whole story. I'm not going to get into that. What I will get into is this game from yesterday. So, in case you were living under a rock, maybe you were in my situation from a couple weeks ago, maybe you didn't have television, maybe you were away from the TV, away from technology, maybe in the middle of nowhere, maybe you just didn't watch the game. And you're like, how in the heck did we score 27 points? Well, let me put it like this. The defense woke up feeling hella dangerous. 2 defensive touchdowns. I think that's the first time and as long as I can remember, that the Browns have had not one but 2 defensive touchdowns in the same game. Remember, a couple of years ago, we had in 2020 we had 2 defensive touchdowns in that season. That was a fun season. Yeah, we had they were both pick sixes, ironically. Sione Takitaki, who by the way is unfortunately out for the year with an ACL injury, and Ronnie Harrison. They both had pick sixes. Well, yesterday's game, we had 2 touchdowns on the defensive side, a scoop and score by Tony Fields, and of course, no, I'm sorry, a scoop and score by Denzel Ward, and then we had the pick six by Tony Fields, which is pretty dope. I mean, and of course, we also had the special teams show up too. That was good to see. Special teams showed up. First time since 2015, we had a punt return touchdown for Donovan Peoples Jones. And the funniest thing is about that whole thing there, he wasn't even originally supposed to be our punt returner this year. It was supposed to be Jakeem Grant, but he got hurt in camp. Haven't had him all year. My guess is he'll be our kick returner, our punt returner next year. But it's good to see Donovan Peoples Jones actually show up and, make a play like that. I mean, I think he said after the Bucks game that he was close. He felt like he was really close to taking one to the house. And last night, well, yesterday he did that. That was really fun to see. Of course, I went nuts. I love how my microphone cuts out whenever I start yelling. I guess it's like my microphone trying to say, yo, gotta chill out, buddy. You're gonna blow people's eardrums off. I was losing my mind when that happened. Because at that point, we were down 5-0. And I knew in my head, one play. That's all it took was one play. And we were right back in it. Sure enough, the special teams gives us the juice. And then from that point on, it was all Browns. 27 points scored by defense and special teams. The offense didn't even do anything. They didn't even really need to do anything. I mean, if you even watch the way that we called plays, we didn't get aggressive. We were not super aggressive. It's like some people actually attributed it to a preseason game on offense, which I guess you could say it kind of was. They were more or less working on timing and getting the play in and out and everything, just working on everything. Not and they didn't really let Deshaun let it rip like we know he can. Now I'm sure as the weeks go on, we're gonna start off and just going nuts, and I personally cannot wait for that. Of course, people are gonna say, "Oh, it's the Texans. You need to settle down." Yo, bro, settle down. It's just the Texans. Yeah, the Texans. Woo. You know, a lot of people, though, a lot of people really wanted to see Deshaun go out there, touchdowns, and hit the air guitar one time, which sucks. He didn't do it. It'll be even more funnier, though, when he does it against the Bengals this week. That'll make it even better. I mean, it would have been cool, though, if he did that against his old team. But, like, come on, damn it. Freaking Siri, I don't care about you. Get out of here. Freaking loser. Like, I mean, I would have loved to see him hit the air guitar in front of his old fans, considering that stadium was probably 60-40 Browns fans, maybe even more. Like it was a definite pro Browns crowd, and just I just can't believe we got Deshaun Watson now. Now, what really makes me laugh about this victory Monday is not about the game last night. It's about what transpired earlier this morning, as a few hours ago. This tweet pops up on my timeline. You can't read, or you can't see. You can only go by, maybe you're like driving or something, or you're out doing something and you're not really watching. You're probably thinking, oh God, what did he pull up? From Adam Schefter at 11:38 a.m. And I quote, Panthers announced they have released quarterback Baker Mayfield. Now, what this means is we're officially getting a 5th round pick for Baker. There was a chance it could be a 4th, but no, he had to play, I think, like 70% of the snaps. And that obviously is not happening. So Baker go bye-byes. And this means the Baker Bros are officially gone. God, I hate that. You know, there's like, you know, stands that follow players. You know, there's like whole groups that follow players. I swear, Baker Bros have got to be the most annoying group of like player fans I've seen, and I don't even remember. No, I mean Odell fans were crazy, but you know they didn't really get you too bad. Baker Bros blame everything on everybody but Baker. Baker be throwing passes 5 feet over a dude's head. Oh, that's on the receiver. But the quarterback, I mean, he's not throwing to Yao Ming. He's got to throw the ball a little lower. How many interceptions that bum freaking threw last year? Really killed me was this dude played on a bad shoulder. What would he be? Where would he be right now if he had just said, you know what, my shoulder is messed up. I'm not gonna risk it. I'm a sit out. We got Case Keenum. He's solid. He can hold it down. No, what does this bozo do? He decides to play with a bad shoulder, and that cost him millions of dollars. He probably would have still been here. Although, would he have still been here? Now that I think about it, I've heard that Kevin and company, and they were done with him after that Vikings game. It felt like we're done with him. I don't think he would have still been here if he had sat out. They might have kept him as like a backup or something. Maybe used him as like a trade piece. But I don't know. I don't know what they would have done. I don't know what they would have done. I'm just glad he's gone. You know. Ah, crazy dog. You were a Baker fan when he was there. Well, I mean, he was my quarterback. Of course I'm gonna support him. What do you expect? But you know what? If you notice, as my streams went on last year, I went from being a Baker supporter to just absolutely hating the dude's guts. I wanted him out of here. I got sick and tired of his freaking garbage. It happens. You know? You can go from liking to hating somebody. You know? You're a stan. No. I mean, here's my quarterback. I'm going to support him. You know, I'm going to defend him against the haters. What happened was he started to play like absolute garbage, and I started to really get pissed off at him. And at that point, I was like, I'm done with you. I'm done. Out of here. But you got a freaking pedophile. He's a pedophile? Have you, like, is there, like, proof that he is a pedophile? Hmm? Is there video? Is there video proof of him being a pedo? Hmm? It's more or less he said, she said at this point with that whole thing. I'm not going to get into that. Yeah. And it's funny because people say he's hated around the league. Yeah, I've seen videos of former teammates of his, like literally like crowding around him, getting autographs and stuff, talking to him, showing respect. Yeah, he's really hated. Yeah. Hmm. Hmm. So you're a Watson stan now? I mean, he's my quarterback again. So does this mean if Watson completely stinks the bed, you're gonna if Watson goes out there and plays like Baker did, like completely just well, you got 5 years. We're not getting rid of him. I know that for a fact. That ain't happening. So I'm not even gonna really call for him to be traded or anything, get cut. I'm just gonna be like, gotta be better. He's an elite level quarterback based off of what he's done before, he decided to sit out. People were literally expecting him to go out there and just slaughter the Texans. Now some people did keep it kind of low key, and they were like, he's probably going to be a little bit rusty, probably not going to look that great. And sure enough, look what happened. He didn't really look that good. But like I said, it's like Kevin and company were kind of treating this as a preseason game. They were working on stuff. It's like Kevin knew after like the first couple drives. He's like, defense has us. The defense got this. The other two, the groups, they'll hold it down while we work on some things. And they did. We scored 27 points. None from the offense. Now, if we were playing, let's say, this like the Ravens or something, who knows how that game goes? Maybe Kevin Stefanski doesn't treat it like a preseason game, but instead he maybe turns up a little bit more, you know? I mean, I guess you could say he was kind of, you know, used it as a preseason game because the opponent was not very good. All right, let's leave the chat a little bit. I see we got some people in the chat. We got freaking Jacob Fredericks, as usual, in the chat. Derpy's in the chat, of course. Lamar, as always. Good to see you guys. We get a victory Monday. My Steelers also won. The whole entire AFC North won. Hopefully we can beat y'all in our place. Well, no, that ain't happening. Are you watching the Monday Night Football game tonight? Probably. I don't know. Most likely I will be. Guardians stink and Ohio State stinks. Ohio State stinks. 11-1 in the CFP, but they stink. Guardians won the AL Central, made it to the ALDS with one of the youngest rosters in the league, have one of the best managers in the league, but we stink. Okay. I mean, I would love to see them maybe sign a player or two. That would get me happy. That would make me really happy right now. But, oh, wait, speaking of which, speaking of signing players, Justin Verlander got signed today by the Mets of all teams. That's nice. And Trey Turner going to Philadelphia. That'll be interesting to see how he does. Now that he'll be playing with the likes of who's over there? Schwarber, Castellanos, Realmuto, Harper. My God, that's going to be a nice team. Bohm, I think, is still there. Stott. Segura's there for now. What's up, Loyal? But yeah, I'll tell you one thing. Dude, Texans, what is going on with your team? It's going to fire another coach after 1 year. Like, watching the Texans last night reminded me of like the 2017 Browns. Or even worse, the 2017 Browns, because it's like you knew that once the Browns scored a touchdown because we were down 5-0. The Texans could have been up by a lot if they were a competent team. If we like once we scored that touchdown, I was like, we got this. We got this. We got this. Once we scored the touchdown from DPJ, I was like, yep, we got this. It's our game. We got this. We got this. The defense was juiced up. The defense has had a whole new energy to them for the last couple games. It's like once they knew Deshaun's back, they're like, all right, now it's time to play some ball. It's time to get serious. Oh, Joe, it's gonna be funny after the season's over, and let's say we somewhat run the table. Let's say we go like 5-1, 9-8 at the end of the season. Maybe we miss the playoffs. That'd be hilarious if we went 9-8. But and then Joe Woods walks into Haslam's office, be like, "So, Jim, am I safe? Did I do a good job?" And then Jim looks at his the stats and everything. He's like, "I mean, you did good, but you're still fired because of what happened in the beginning of the season." You know, I guess our defense is turning into like more of a second half defense, but we need our defense to be a full season defense. Because I swear, if we somehow, some way run the table and win maybe almost all the games, and then we're left looking back at the first half, looking at all those games that we could have won, but our defense sold. We're going to look back at those games and be like, damn, if we would have won even a couple of those games, we'd be in the playoffs right now. We're going to look at Joe Woods' ugly ass and go, it's because of you, you bum. You're the reason why we ain't in the playoffs right now. Especially if we run the table. If we somehow run the table, which I'm not saying we will, but if we do, go 10-7, miss the playoffs, every single Browns fan is going to turn their attention to Joe Woods and say, it's because of you, you freaking loser. Your dumbass defense freaking cost us a playoff spot. If your defense played like they did last night or yesterday, the past 2 weeks even, if we had that defense the first half of the season, we're sitting pretty probably in second or maybe even first in the division right now. Oh, of course, our defense would waste probably one of the best offensive outputs we've had. And we had a backup. We had Jacoby. And the offense was out here clicking, looking good. Let's take a look at the games, all right? Let's take a look at the games that we had. All right, so you look at the games. All right, if I can, as soon as ESPN pulls it up. Oh, yeah, that's right. You guys got Pep Hamilton. Think about that loser. Oh, my God, dude. We had him for like a couple years, I think. And then he left. Almost went to the team up north. We went to the team up north to play with them, whatever. And then he went to Houston. I didn't even know he was really with Houston. I was like, wow, he's there. I forgot. Wow. No wonder they suck. But hey, at least you got the Astros. Yeah, the Rockets was trash too. Damn, that's tough. Rockets are garbage. Texans are trash. But at least you got the Astros. Even they were kind of garbage for a while, but at least they got things right. They won another World Series. Probably the only thing that keeps Houston fans sane, knowing that they got the Astros. Verlander goes to the Mets to play with Scherzer. We'll see what else goes down here at winter meetings. But anyways, you look at the Browns schedule. All right, looking at our schedule here. Panthers week 1, 26-24. Man, I tell you one thing, Browns Twitter was through the roof with that. Because we beat Baker Mayfield. Week 2, we had the Jets on the ropes, defense lapsed, special teams vomited up the victory, like literally. Lost 31-30. Week 3, beat the Steelers. So we're 2-1. Should be 3-0. The next 4 games, we lost 3 of the 4 by a combined 8 points. 23-20 loss to Falcons, 30-28 loss to the Chargers. Now that Chargers loss really pisses me off because the Chargers literally gift wrapped us that game. Bozo Staley went for it on fourth down in their own territory, and they didn't get it. Gave us the ball, and we went for a winning kick, I guess, and we missed it. We get destroyed by Bailey freaking Zappi, just to add, salt to the wound. And we lose to the Ravens by 3 because a slight little shot, slight little nudge by Amari Cooper. He caught the ball, went into the end zone, but flag. 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 That's like a typical Browns loss. I mean, during those games, I was literally saying, like, that's how the Browns find new and creative ways to lose. Young Rockets team with more heart compared to the Texans. Yeah, at least the Rockets got a somewhat brighter future. Got a young core already developed. They just got to get going on that end, I guess. But whatever. Then the Browns snap out of their little funk against the Bungles by smacking them in the mouth. Then we proceeded to get beat by the Dolphins after a bye week. We literally had 2 weeks to prepare for that game. Freaking come out looking like garbage. And then we lose to the Bills in a game that we actually looked good and we were owning them in the first half. And then we follow that up with 2 straight victories against the Bucs and the Texans. So if we think about this, if we had the defense that we had the last 2 weeks, we beat the Jets, we beat the Falcons, we definitely beat the Chargers. We probably beat Bailey Zappi's dumbass, trash, garbage. We beat the Ravens. We beat the Dolphins. I think so. Seems like a game that we would still lose because that's what we do. And Bills, we probably still lose. So we could have probably still won that game. So really, we could have like 2 losses right now if our defense was playing like this earlier, the whole season. Especially if our special teams woke up. And if we had Deshaun the entire season, we probably would be like where the Eagles are right now. It's hard to say what would have happened, but we're 5-7, and we got 5 more games to go. Bengals on the road this week. Of course, preview video will be out tomorrow. You already know how that's going to go. Ravens the week after. Will they have Lamar Jackson? I don't know. It's a Saturday at 4:30 p.m. on NFL Network. Well, this is the first game of the year that we have a 4:30 kickoff, and it's on a Saturday. Well, we all know how we do on prime time. Well, this is somewhat prime time. It's like prime time-ish, I guess. I mean, we all know how we do when we're not playing on Sundays. We're undefeated when we're not playing on a Sunday. Isn't that crazy? And those 2 games are games that we won by double digits. We won those 2 games by 2 touchdowns against the Steelers and the Bengals. So, of course, this one would be against the Ravens. That's pretty funny. We got the Saints, Commanders, and Steelers. 3 games that we could easily win, but who knows how we're going to be in those. Steelers game is going to be fun, though. But, man, Browns got cheated against the Ravens. Yeah, we did. We literally should have won that game. I got so hyped when I saw Amari catch that ball, and I went from up here to all the way down here when that flag was thrown. And I heard him say, "Ferrick, offense number 2," and then you got the freaking false start on the kick, on the field goal attempt. False start. I tell you, sometimes you just like the refs just have it in for us, because it's Cleveland sports. I swear, it's like they have it in for us. It's like they have a grudge. It kills me, man. It absolutely kills me when I see that stuff. But like you go through the stats from last night's game, from yesterday's game. And people look at Deshaun and think, oh yeah, he was, he played like garbage. But like I said, they kept him in like second gear. They didn't let him unleash it. But yeah, I mean, I liked what I saw from the run game. Chubb was really getting going. I mean, through the air, I mean, it was Peoples Jones and Cooper. They didn't really do a whole lot. Of course, a lot of drops, whole lot of drops, especially to Amari. There were some passes that could have been made, but they were low. I said yesterday in the stream, I'd rather honestly have the passes be low and hit the ground off the feet to at the receiver's feet. I'd rather have it be low and short than high and long. Because at least if it's low and short, unless it, goes what like that tight end did with Houston, where he tried to catch it and it bounced off his arm and into the hands of John Johnson III on the first play of the game. It's like it could have happened like that. But if you throw it high and long, I mean, it's probably going to get tipped, picked off, or whatever. I was really enjoying that game yesterday. Probably one of the most comfortable victories of the year. I mean, streaming wise, I think the most comfortable victory we've had was definitely that Bungle game. That game was not in doubt at all. This game was maybe like in doubt the first like couple drives because people didn't know like, oh, how are we gonna play? Then once the defense started, then we got up by, we scored another touchdown, and I was like, okay, I think they got this. And then we scored the third touchdown, and it's like, all right, I think we're good now. We're up a good amount. I think we're set. We were up, what was it, 14-8, and then we scored again. It was 21 points unless we give it to them. Because the way the Texans offense was running yesterday, they weren't doing a damn thing unless we were going to give it to them, like we did when they scored. What was it, the last touchdown? Well, pretty much their one touchdown, both of the touchdowns or whatever were gimmies, or the one touchdown was a gimme because we forgot how to tackle. Greedy Williams is out here just dragging his body along with the receiver, like, buddy, they didn't wrestle it. You might want to tackle him. Freaking Greedy Williams, my God, he's probably gone after this season. Oh God, we had him, Mister. Snakes have legs. Want to be looking like Chris Rock. Oh, I'm just happy we won that game. I thought to myself, if we lose to these guys, bro, I'm never going to hear the end of it. I'm never going to see the end of it. Browns fans are going to revolt. They're going to burn down Twitter. But luckily, we won 5-7, technically still in the running, and now we go to Cincinnati. Should be fun. I cannot wait to see Dashy's video. It's funny thing about the last Bengal game. I didn't see Dashy's video for the game until after the game because I didn't have internet. Of course, my internet was off. So I didn't see the video until after the game when I got it back on. And I was like, this dude really come out here talking like that? And to see what happened in the game is like, wow. His mouth just keeps, writing checks that his team can't cash. And what's funny is, Bungles fans are gonna flex. We beat the Chiefs 3 straight times. We beat you 5. And the worst part is they've beaten us one time to this day since Baker came to town, and they haven't beaten us with Kevin. And another fun fact that I saw today: Kevin Stefanski, the guy that Browns fans want fired because reasons, I guess. He's 6-0 against the AFC South. Granted, he's only faced the full division, I think, one time, swept the division. I think the only other time he hasn't faced the whole division was, I think we faced Houston. So yeah, we're 6-0 against the division of the AFC South. So we're still kings of the South. Still. You love to see it. You truly do? Tony Fields played good. I'm confident in Tony Fields taking over for Sione now that he's out for the year with an ACL injury, which really sucks. And then David Bell has a hand injury, which I think he got hurt trying to catch a pass from Deshaun. And then Anthony Schwartz's dumb bum ass is in the freaking concussion protocol. Is it me or does it seem like we should just not draft people from Auburn? Like Cavs and Browns, do not ever draft people from Auburn. How funny is it that the two guys we drafted, or actually no, the last three guys we've drafted overall from Auburn, Ricardo Lewis, Anthony Schwartz, and Isaac Okoro, they were all doo doo. Ricardo Lewis didn't even catch a touchdown in the league, I don't think. The dude couldn't even stay on the field because he got hurt all the time. Schwartz, on the other hand, he's he's literally all speed. I mean, he's a runner, he's a track star. And as Isaac Okoro, he'll have a good game every now and then, but he is so inconsistent, it's crazy. He hasn't really had that offensive explosion. But maybe he'll improve. Anthony Schwartz, same thing. Maybe he'll improve, but damn. Not looking great so far. I mean, he's still got a lot of time left. Got 5 games. Maybe Anthony Schwartz can get something going. I will say, I think Anthony Schwartz might have found himself a niche on this team as like a scat back, a guy that is like a specialist with jet sweeps because you get the ball in his hands and he uses that speed. He can be good. It's just you have to get the ball in his hands. That's the problem. He actually caught a pass yesterday, but he fumbled the damn thing. Come on, man. Like, you gotta be kidding me. You gotta be freaking kidding me. How do you catch it and then fumble it? The actual good pass from Deshaun, you actually catch it in your hands, you go to run, and you fumble. Hey, he's a gadget player. Yeah. He's a player that you really only use when you use like a jet sweep. Jet sweeps or something like that. I mean, like I said, maybe he'll improve, get better. He definitely isn't the worst receiver I've seen. I can think of a couple guys who've been worse. Remember Vince Mailey? I remember when Ray Farmer, this dude pretty much hated receivers. He didn't value them. Never did. He drafted, I think, one receiver, he drafted a couple receivers, but they were not over 6 foot. He hated tall receivers. He didn't value them. I actually had a name for our receiving corps when he was our GM. I always called our receiving corps the Smurfs because they were so tiny. Yeah, bubble screen. Yeah, you can be good on bubble screens too, but we don't usually do bubble screens a whole lot. It's funny. The Browns don't do a lot of bubble screens when they really could. But the Buckeyes, they love them things. It's like, where did this bubble screen offense come from, Buckeyes? I never saw bubble screens when we had Garrett Wilson and Olave running on the outside. Oh, wait, because those guys were always open. Every time you looked, Wilson and Olave were always open. But don't be spamming the bubble screens, especially against Georgia. Those corners are boom, snap your head right off your shoulders. And have guys getting freaking laid out like a freaking bag of bricks, man. Damn. Could be stuttering. Oh boy. But I'm just happy we won. Doesn't matter how you win. It's just that you won. That's all that matters. We can win by 1 or 50. All that matters is that there's a W next to the game. There's a W in the win column. So, on the Cincinnati, like I said, preview video will be out tomorrow night around there. Be on the lookout for that one. It should be a good one. I'm gonna have to spit a little venom at the Bungles. By the way, before I leave, Bungles, 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 Bungles. Hey Dashy, you're next, buddy. I can just see this dude right now yelling and screaming into his camera, wasting everybody's time because he calls us the clowns, 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 clowns. Now, what's going to be really hilarious is when he does that, and then after the game, he has to come on here again for the, what would this be now? The 9th time out of 10, right? Down there, throwing to the Browns again. Like, this whole rivalry with us and the Bungles is turning into that of like what it used to be with them and the Steelers, or us and the Steelers, or Patriots and Bills. Their savior, Joe Burrow, or should I call him Joe Burrow and 4 because he's 0-4 against us because he didn't play the one game because they had already clinched, so they didn't play him really. But he's still 0-4 against us, which is tough. You know, never beat us. Now he's got to face Deshaun Watson. That'll be fun. I guess if there's a time to unleash Deshaun, it would be next week. Make a statement against the division rival. That would be nice. I think one of Deshaun's first games of his career was against the Bungles, and he went out there and he killed them. In fact, let me take a look. Let me see if I can find that game. It was 2017, I'm pretty sure. Let me see. I'm curious. It was on a Thursday night, too. I'm sure loyal to Houston, if he's still in here, I'm sure he remembers that game. I think it was his rookie year. They were in Houston. They went to Cincinnati, and I think they beat the crap out of them. Let me see. Yeah. Well, they didn't beat the crap out of them. But yeah, I mean, they won 13-9. That's right. Watson had 125 yards passing, 67 yards rushing. And the crazy thing is, Myles Garrett owns the Bengals apparently now because the dude, every time he faces them, he just goes off. I expect Myles to have another like 2 or 3 sacks this week again because he owns them. Yeah, I mean, last time Deshaun faced the Bengals, but when was the last time he faced the Bengals? Wasn't that? Let me see. I don't think he faced him in 2020, did he? Because I know we did. He might have. Let me see. Who did he face in 2020? Let's find out. No, he did not face them in 2020. Yeah, he did. They lost 37-31. Oh, that's right. That was a horrible season for him. On the other hand, though, Deshaun, 24 of 33, 324 yards, 3 tutties. Fred Johnson's old ass freaking went for 12 carries, 128 yards, and a touchdown. And Cooks absolutely cooked them. 7 receptions, 141 yards that game. Darren Fells and David Johnson also did pretty good in that game too. That was the last time he faced the Bungles. Granted, it wasn't Joe Burrow. It was Brandon Allen. So, oh my God, they lost to Brandon Allen. The Texans lost to Brandon Allen. Well, that's not Deshaun against Brandon Allen. He was just something about that organization as a whole. Not very good. My dogs apparently agree too. All right, but I'm gonna wrap this up. So, we need to do flea flickers. Yeah, I would love to do a flea flicker. As long as the guy, this is someone that's open on the other end. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna wrap this up, guys. So hope you guys have a good rest of your night. And it'll be fun to watch Deshaun again. But yeah, like I said, preview video for tomorrow for this week's game will be out tomorrow. Picks coming out tomorrow as well. And let's get another dub. Let's get the 6 and 7. This was a fun win. On to the next one. All right, I'm out, guys. Have a good rest of your night, and see you tomorrow. Crazy Dog, go Browns. I'm out. Oh, by the way, the shirt. If you're reading this, Cleveland won.